we're trying a lot of new things today. The lighting is different because the sun is not out. Well, actually, I've used this lamp before. But this camera is different. So I've got to see if the front or the back is better. I know the back camera is better, but I like being able to see myself and knowing whether or not it's on. So we'll test the sound and stuff here, go to the other side, and then see what works. I hope I'm centered, and I hope my head is not cut off. This is just going to be what it's going to be. I'm coming to you on my floor because I'm in the middle of reorganizing books, and where my chair usually sits is in front of bookcases. I'm also coming to you with this video because I'm reorganizing stuff. I wanted to wait until after November to do like a full fall book haul or whatever. But honestly, I'm not going to want to pick out all of these other books at the end of the month. I want to organize now. So these will be everything that I got from the beginning of September to now, which is, I think it's November 12th. Some of these I bought, some of these I was given. We'll work through it. I didn't buy a whole lot because I was very broke, but I did splurge on a few things. So to start out with, the only book that I actually spent my own money on in November was The Undocumented Americans by Karla, Cornejo, Villavicencio. I am still working my way through it. I intend on finishing it this month. I intend on finishing a lot of things this month. But it's really great so far. It's basically, this is a piece of creative nonfiction. Basically what she did is she interviewed a number of different undocumented Americans, and also incorporated her own experience, and is telling the story of these different cities and the experience of undocumented Americans in these various cities. And at least so far, in each of these, she also talks about undocumented people's roles when different catastrophes happen. So she talks about 9/11, she talks about hurricanes, and I'm sure a number of other things. I really like the angle that she goes about with this book, because she's not acting like she's some unbiased entity that's just reviewing all of this. I mean, none of us can be when we're talking about society. Everyone is in a society. I'm sorry, you're not going to be unbiased. And this has a special place for her, and I think that it's really valuable to learn things like this from the people who are directly affected. So I'm excited to get done with that. Another book that I got, I don't remember if I received it in September or October, because it's, it's been a long year. But I won an Instagram giveaway and got Cemetery Boys by Aidien Thomas, which I adored. I actually unboxed this in a vlog, and then I have since talked about this in a wrap-up, as well as the Cemetery Boys book tag. It was amazing. The story was really interesting. I didn't expect the twist necessarily, but I think that it was done well enough. Like, he definitely did set it up, so I think it was done well. The trans rep is really wonderful. I love all of the little details. It's very YA in like the best way. And, a big thing that YA does is that it talks about those kind of like universal experiences or things that a lot of people deal with when they're teenagers. And this was added in as one of those. It wasn't one of those things where I find, at least with some cis writers, it tends to be more clunky and awkward. But it's done really well. Probably because this is not a cis author. And the romance is just to die for. The way that their relationship dynamic is just so cute. And the way that it's written, I've just gave me so many different feelings. I think between this and Heartstopper, both of them I have equated to fan fiction in a certain degree because of the way that it makes me feel and certain pieces of how it's written. And that's not a negative by any means. Because the thing with fan fiction is that you already have a direct connection to the character. So even if it's written sort of poorly, you're still going to get the feels. With this, you had to give us new characters, and I still got those feels. I don't know. Basically, I had a great time. go read Cemetery Boys if you haven't. Now, the next ones that I have not read any of yet, even though some of them appeared on last month's TBR, but, you know, life, yeah, it is what it is. So, next I have Punching the Air by Zoboi and Yusef Saalam, and this is actually told in poetry form, and it talks about kind of the school-to-prison pipeline, and it also talks about the power of art. I'm really looking forward to it. I mentioned in, I think it was my Fortnite Frights TBR, that I wanted to read this alongside Felons, which I have on my Kindle. I still plan to do that, even though I have yet to read either of them yet. It's a lot of yets. Next, we have Stay Gold by Tobli McSmith, which is a young adult contemporary that focuses on our main character, Pony. Yes. And he is stealth at his school. He's trans and he's stealth, so he doesn't want other people to know that he's trans. But he starts to fall in love with a cheerleader, and he didn't want to get in any sort of relationships to kind of maintain that stealth status and not have to worry about talking with people. So, I don't really know what direction the plot goes in, but I'm looking forward to it. Then we have Smash It by Francina Simone. I'm not 100% on the plot of all of this. I know that part of it is based around drama or theater, and specifically looking at Othello. So that's interesting. It's been a while since I've read Othello, but having theater incorporated into books is always nice. I wasn't a theater person. I was a band kid, but lots of solidarity between the band kids and theater kids. And I really like plays and musicals, so I'm not totally sure what to expect with this, but I got it for free. I didn't say in the beginning, but all three of these were ARCs. I work at a bookstore. I actually started back working in October, I think, or the end of September. I don't know what time is. Don't ask me. I started back working at some point. I got ARCs that no one else had claimed, and I'm planning on reading them. And next, we get into October for sure. Some of those might have been October. The stuff that's definitely coming is October, November. So first we have The Queer Advantage, Conversations with LGBTQ+ Leaders on the Power of Identity by Andrew Gelwicks. This was actually gifted to me by Hachette. It looks pretty interesting. I'm actually in the middle of reading another kind of anthology like this, genderqueer, although I think that certain aspects of them are going to be quite different, particularly because this is, the whole LGBT community, while genderqueer is just looking specifically at people who defy gender norms, which isn't 100% trans or gender nonconforming people. Well, it is okay. So it's not 100% trans people or 100% people who identify as genderqueer, but it is people who are queering gender. Whereas the Queer Advantage seems to be focused on people who are successful in a traditional way. And I kind of don't know how I'm going to feel about it afterwards 100%, just because I have certain qualms with capitalism. But I think that it will still be interesting to see kind of what it says about, kind of claiming that identity and holding it high rather than being closeted. I think that could be valuable. And I do think that my suspicions about kind of their perspective and some of the things that I might critique about it are probably there based off of Ariel from She Wants the Diction's response to this book. She had a really good Instagram post and recently talked about it in her library haul. I'm still going to read it and still going to, try to get some good stuff out of it. But as with everything, I'm going to go in with kind of a critical eye. I think towards the very end of October, after I did my TBR video for November, I actually went and bought a copy of Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and I talk about it in my TBR, so if you've already seen that, you might know a little bit. Basically, this looks at science and how it kind of relates to certain indigenous traditions and kind of talking about those together, how they work together. This is written by someone who is indigenous and is also a plant scientist, a botanist, I think. So this should be good. I also have access to the audiobook through Hoopla, so if everything goes well, which TBR stuff is always up in the air, but it's fine. I plan on reading this and listening to it at the same time. Then next, I come to another arc that I also got from work again, and that is Giving Up Whiteness by Jeff James. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. When I first saw it sitting on the break room table, I thought, do we really need another hot take by a white person about race? The answer is no. But since this guy is from Tennessee, and sometimes we highlight local authors, I would like to read this just so that I can know what the book is. So if we do end up highlighting it, I'll basically know whether to say, yeah, we can include that, or maybe not. So I'm going to read it at some point. I'm not 100% sure what to expect. I'm basically reading it for work purposes. Then we for sure get into November, and I've only bought one book, so y'all should be proud of me because I have wanted to buy way more than just one book. And that is We Were 8 Years in Power, An American Tragedy by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This is Ta-Nehisi Coates' book that focuses on the Obama administration. I think it's a series of a few different essays, kind of looking at this. I'm not 100% sure what the full synopsis is, but I've read another one of Ta-Nehisi Coates' books that I really enjoyed, and I have kind of an idea of some of the things that he might say, but I think this is going to be really insightful, and he talks, at least they mention on the back, kind of the backlash and the response to Obama. So I have a feeling that he's going to be critiquing some of those politics and some of the actions that went on during those 8 years. But considering my other experience with the author, I expect that this is going to be really good. And I'm really looking forward to actually reading something larger, because the other one was, it might have been 100 pages long, but it was basically a really, really long essay, letter to his son. I don't have a copy, but I would definitely recommend that. So, this is my book haul. Ooh! This is my book haul from the past month and a half. It was a pretty good time. I think I only paid for 3 of these, because I'm broke as hell and have somehow managed to control myself. So if you've read any of these, definitely let me know what you thought about them down in the comments. If you've gotten anything recently that you're really excited about, leave that down there as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.